This is Kai's 5 Podcast. 5 topics, 5 minutes. Hyper local sports. The Kai's 5 Podcast is presented by WJG Sports. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. This is Kai's 5 Podcast. And guys, guess what? We got football this week. No disrespect to Wayne Christian, who started early this week, 28-7, win over Grace Christian. But yeah, we got NCHSA football. The whole state is now playing football. The Friday night lights are back. I'm so excited. Let's just jump right into it. We're going to kick this off starting talking about box office offensive players specifically. All right, so these are the guys who sell tickets. These are the guys that if I wasn't a media member, had to pay to get in the games, these are the guys that I was going to most likely see. Now remember, this is for the people who, are not parents, who are just automatically going to their kids' games. This is for the people who are just for fans of the game and just want to stay around and be on that sideline and watch as these young stars develop. Now, 5 topics, 5 minutes. Here it is. We're going to start with our first. Number 1, Clayton's quarterback, Aiden Smalls. Aiden Smalls, he's incredible to watch. Super speedy. Can stop and shift and change on the blink of a dime. He's just a really awesome player for Clayton. He plays QB for them. He's going to play for NC State. And he's going to play wide receiver there. But it can be quite amazing to watch. I mean, last season he led the Comets in rushing and in passing, over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,006 to be specific, with 12 touchdowns. And then also threw for another 1,948 yards and 24 touchdowns. Along with some of the weapons and things that he has, I think it's going to be fun to watch him have a great senior season. Number 2 for me, Cleveland running back, junior Kaleb Ferrell. Now, this is a guy that I've been watching since he was in Swift. He was at Swift Creek Middle. He was tearing it up there, led them to their to a county championship. Just a really, I love the way he runs. He runs really low, long strides, gets yards very quickly. And Cleveland's a very good offense for running backs. Traditionally. Last year, as a sophomore, put up 992 yards on the ground, and then also caught 13 passes for 194 yards and total of 10 TDs as a sophomore. I think with them breaking a new quarterback, I could easily see him eclipsing way past that 1,000-yard mark, and then probably going up to even 300 or 400 yards through the air as well. He's just a very versatile player who can really, who can really make the Rams offense go. Number 3 for me, Eastern Wayne senior Charlie Thomas. I mean, he's Sports Center top 10. I mean, everyone knows Charlie Thomas from playing basketball on the basketball court. You know what he does. But I think a lot of those skills that make him great as a basketball player, the tenacity, the big, strong hands, the leaping ability, make him awesome as a wide receiver. He's a jump ball guy, and he can make one-handed catches, as we saw him get on Sports Center last year. So for me, Charlie Thomas, he's box office last year, led the Warriors in catches with 31 catches, 529 yards, 9 touchdowns. I love the way Charlie plays. Great kid too. Number 4, North Johnston senior quarterback Kaleb Pone. I mean, he's the heart and soul of the Panthers. I mean, he led them to their first winning season since 2016 last year. He got it done on the ground and through the air, 1,000 yards in both categories. Going to be tough this year without Traquan Watson, who was his top weapon that he had available to him. But his speed, his agility, and his leadership, I think he can still have a very big impact for the Panthers. Now, last one, number 5, transfer Clayton senior wide receiver D'Angelo Ruffin Jr. He's fast. He's sure-handed. 55 catches, 969 yards, and 13 touchdowns last season for Cleveland, including 5 catches and 137 yards and 3 touchdowns against his now team Clayton last year, and helped Cleveland cement that conference championship. I love the way he plays. It's going to be interesting to see him and Aiden Smalls. Aiden Smalls a lot of times gets those plays where he just breaks, and guys just got to find a spot. And I think he always was the one who could find the spot there for Jackson Bird. So now he goes from Jackson Bird to Aiden Smalls. It'll be interesting to see what type of numbers he puts up in Clayton's offense. And really, there's a lot more guys I could easily mention, but of course, we have more topics just for that. And there we go. I am right on time. Now, we're moving on over to the side of the ball that wins championships. We're talking about defense. These are the box office players on defense, the ones who, if you're watching and you're rooting for the other team on offense, you're going to be absolutely pulling out your hair trying to look away as your offense is dismantled by these guys. And I think it starts right at the top. I'm going to talk a lot about Clayton, but I mean, of course, they have some top line guys. Number one is easily Clayton Sr., Keyshawn Crumell. Went back and was watching film, and man, the kid can really just fly around. He makes plays. My guy Randy Capps at WJG Sports called him one of the best corners he's covered in the last 10 to 15 years. I can absolutely believe it. He's got multiple Power 4 programs reaching out to him. Just a flat-out baller. I'm interested to see, because they're planning our game of the week this week, Clayton versus Wilson Prep. I'm interested to see how he leaves his stamp on the game. Skipping past number 2, we'll go to number 3, keeping with Clayton. Of course, you can't go anywhere without talking about a Clemson commit in Keyshawn Stancil. He is absolutely disruptive. He destroys lines of scrimmages. The offensive linemen also often find themselves backing up as they are withstanding the bull rush from Stancil. Last year, led these comments and sacks with 9 and caused fumbles with 3, respectively. Also has 63 tackles. Him and Crumell together can form a really crazy defensive front, as you have one who can take out a team's best wide receiver, while Stancil can dominate the line of scrimmage, and you need multiple guys to block him. Going to another guy who has the case for being one of the best defensive linemen in the state, Cameron Melvin. Can play a little bit of edge, can play with his hand in the dirt, can play a little bit of coverage as well. He's powerful, he's versatile, very fast, can really disrupt what offensive want to do. Last year, 94 tackles, 8 sacks, 4 caused fumbles, and a whopping 41 tackles for loss. The young man from Duplin County really knows how to go. He can really get it done. He's been an integral part of that Cleveland defense for the last 4 years. It's going to be interesting to see how he finishes out. I think you're going to see a really big senior year coming from him. Now, going to number 4 here. Younger guy here, not really a super established guy, but a guy who made his mark last year, Aycock junior linebacker Marshawn McCullen. McCullen had a great linebacking core to be schooled from. Jasani Williams, Antoine Grantham, both of those guys were great players in their own right. And this guy came in and kind of established himself. He led the team in sacks with 9, had a pick, 66 tackles. I expect even more from the 6'2", 229 pound junior at linebacker. It's always great when you can get guys like that coming in as sophomores ready to produce. Now he'll have the pressure of kind of being the guy to lead the defense as a junior. And then another junior linebacker we're going to go to is Rosewood junior Aldina Ferrell. Now, he's a kid who I watched at Dillard, dominate as a running back. Now he's the one who's dominating the running backs. Last year, flying around for Rosewood, putting his hand in the dirt, standing up. He did a little bit of everything. 129 tackles last season, tied for the lead for the team. 2 interceptions, a college fumble. That's a kid who I really think can be a major player for Rosewood this year. They've got a lot. They've lost a lot with Michael Bell, but I think Aldino Prevail, I think he can really stamp his name and become one of the best linebackers in the state. I mean, if you look at it, 129 tackles puts him up there highly when it comes to the rest of the state. This is a great group of guys who I think, you could easily say that all of them are game changers. And that's why they're box office defensive players. Let's kick it on to the next topic. And now for the last one where we're talking about players, box office players, we're talking about the utility guys. These are guys both ways, special teams. They're making an impact. They're making an impact on both sides of the ball. I'm sure there was people who were like, how could you forget such and such? Well, hey, those guys are right here, what we call box office utility players. These are the guys who get it done for the team in many facets. Now, we start with number one. I don't think you can talk without anybody other than the big sophomore out of Princeton. Well, not very big, but mighty. He's mighty would be a T.O. McPhatter, mighty T.O. McPhatter. Number 7. It's a kid you got to watch. Another kid that I've been watching since he was in middle school at Princeton, can absolutely torch a defense in multiple ways. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He can throw it. He can return kicks. He can cover your best wide receiver. T.O. McPhatter. Remember the name, sophomore T.O. McPhatter. I've been high on this kid since I saw him in 8th grade. You can go check out his highlights on his 8th grade year at Princeton. He's a stud. Just flat out a stud. You look at it last year as a freshman, over 2,400 yards total, 28 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions and 1 caused fumble on the defensive side as well. He's a once-in-a-generation type of athlete because not only is he great at football, he's also really good at basketball. Just one of those athletes that's a special talent to come through for a place like Princeton. You don't often get this type of talent in these small towns, and when you do, it's really special to watch them go to bat for their neighborhoods that they're from. Now, number 2, going to a senior, going to a little bit more of experience. I've talked a lot about this guy on the last podcast, Eastern Wayne quarterback and linebacker, Izeiah Oates. Oates is to Eastern Wayne what the brain is to the body. As he goes, the rest of the team goes. He led the team last year in passing, rushing, is the top returning tackler and interceptor. He's the whole team. If Oates doesn't have a good game, it'll be hard to see Eastern Wayne being able to win whatever that game is that he has a bad one. Because, man, they rely on him to do so much. But I think he's handled it pretty well his entire career. And it's going to be interesting to see how he finishes out, considering that a lot of it is on him, and they are, in a very tough conference with West Craven and Southwest Edgecombe. So I think we're going to see, a really big year from him, and it's going to be great to see how he finishes out his career. He's already had a remarkable career. Now, another senior, Princeton senior running back and linebacker Austin Llewellyn. Llewellyn's kind of the opposite guy to T.O. He is the thunder to T.O.'s lightning. Last year, he finished with over 1,000 yards, second year in a row. He can be a guy who is really an effective guy to kind of give you a change of pace. He plays low. Those pads really get the right when he gets rolling. He's a very exciting player to watch. His sophomore year, he actually ran for over 2,000 yards. Had to take a little bit of a backseat to T.O., but man, he is a great player in his own right. So number 4, we go from Princeton to Rosewood. We talk about senior running back and linebacker Bryson Hobbs. Nice junior running back, long, lanky, can slither through really tight holes on the offensive line, and then has enough speed to really run away from people. Last year, he finished with over 900 rushing yards and had 74 tackles. I look for him to have a nice finish to his Friday night career. They're in a conference that's going to make it really tough, but if he has a great year, I can't see him not blowing up a little bit, because this is a tough conference that they have. The Swan Valley is not to be played with. You have Wallace Rose Hill. You have Midway. You've got James Keenan. This is a great football conference, and Rosewood's really going to get tested before they go to the playoffs. And like I've said before, I don't think 2A is super strong outside of Tarboro. So we could see Rosewood make a nice little run in the playoffs. And finally, we'll finish off with Goldsboro senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Also, he kicks off, he does the punts, he kicks field goals. Jaden McClary from Goldsboro. He's the heart and soul for the Cougars. I love his leadership as well. He really gets down in the trenches. But then also, too, you can see him kicking, extra points, being able to kick off, being able to make the punts. He's everything for Goldsboro. He's finishing up his senior year with his father, Ronnie McClary. It'll be interesting to see what Goldsboro can do, because while Goldsboro's been bad the last few years, I think that this might be a year where you could see Goldsboro winning 4 or 5, maybe even 6 games, maybe even more. I could be even wrong. I might be doubting him. But I love the way Jaden McClary plays. He's definitely box office, great kid to watch. All right, so went over time there quite a bit, but forgot to set the clock. That's my bad. We'll keep it right on track here. We'll catch back up there, and plus we finished up a little early on the last topic. Let's talk about best places to film. Now, I know I'm the only people, the fans and players aren't the only people who watch. Sometimes there are media member watchers. So I'm going to talk about some of my favorite places to film. Maybe, we got some content creators who are looking, where can we go film? And I think a lot of times when you think about where's a great place to film, you got to think about a lot of things. Parking, all right? How long is it going to take you to get out of there? Can you find a good spot? All right. Once you get through the gate, how hard is it to get to the sidelines? Because there are some places where it is really hard to. Can you find a spot once you're on the sideline? That's a big thing. What's the field conditions like? What type of shoes do you got to wear because of the field conditions? Of course, environment. Environment matters. When you want to get those good pan shots to the crowd and see people turning up and going crazy, who has the environment? Who also just makes it feel like Friday Night Lights? And of course, too, you can throw in other things. Bugs. Who has the worst bugs? Concession stand. How easy is it to get off the field as well, because sometimes, it can be kind of rough as well trying to get back to your car. So let's talk about it. So my number 1, Princeton High. I mean, it's hard to beat a school with turf, because right there automatically you have a nice little starting point there, because the turf, you can wear, even if it's raining, you can wear whatever on your shoes, and still kind of be fine. It's a little slippery, but the turf is great. And then also, too, another thing I forgot to mention as a category, lighting. Lighting matters. Lighting is great at Princeton. It's a little dark down that back end zone, but regardless, if you're shooting, from the back end zone, that doesn't even matter. But their lighting is great. Parking is pretty easy. They got 2-sided parking. It's always easy to maneuver on the sidelines and find you a nice place to film. And then plus, Crick's Pizza. I'm a big fan of Crick's Pizza. I've worked with them a lot. Sometimes I can get me a slice or 2 on the way out. Crick's Pizza. Everything combined to me just makes it a great place. Easy to get out of parking too. Once you are finished with the game, easy to get to the sideline. I think it's easily my favorite place to shoot. Number 2, Clayton High. Now, once again, turf makes it hard. Their lighting is great. The atmosphere is what really sells it as well, because you have everybody feeling like you're on top of you. I swear, some of those Cleveland and Clayton games, when it's at Clayton, it feels like I'm like DMX at the MTV Spring Break, which all the people just lined up watching the game. Clayton High, great place to film at. Parking is not the greatest because sometimes you can't get stuck there for an hour. Sometimes I'd just rather just go ahead and just sit down and start editing my video. But absolutely great place to film. Number 3 for me is Rosewood High. Environment sells it a lot. Easy to find a nice little spot on the sideline. Field is normally in good condition, easy to maneuver through. Parking is good, easy to get out of there. Bugs are a little rough, but not the worst I've ever been. Number 4, Green Central. Gotta love Green Central. Great environment. You hear the cowbells clanging. You can hear the people yelling and screaming and being engaged in the game. Plus, you got Jay Wilson on the sideline. Nothing we love more than a good Jay Wilson anecdote or quote or yell that we hear. It was box off. If you could have put a mic on him and Coach Willis when Delmas Willis was coaching, you would have had a great reality TV show. Trust me on that. And finally, I like West Johnson High. I mean, personally, it's a little hard there with that bowl, and the parking is sometimes kind of iffy, but normally you can get out of there pretty quickly. But also, too, I just love the band. Their band is top-notch. Lighting is great. The environment is good. You can always hear the fans. It's a really great environment. That would be my number 5. There's a couple other places I could have went with. It was very hard. You know, Eastern Wayne has some good ones. Aycock, Cleveland, they all are really great environments. There's a lot of really great environments, but I think West Johnson wins it for me because of their band. I love the way their band plays. Always some good tunes coming out of there. Let's go on to the next topic. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And finally, for topic 5, we got the 5 best matchups for this week. If you're just trying to figure out what the game is. All right, number 1, Clayton versus Wilson Prep. Too good for me not to go. It's our game of the week. You have a 7A contender going up against the absolute favorite for 1A. It's got some spice in there too. Jordan Ham, one of the best players to ever play for Wilson Prep, Wilson Prep's quite a young program. Transfers over to Clayton, and now they play week 1. It's going to be sparkles in the air. I think it's going to be a nice, fun matchup, but I don't see Wilson Prep being able to hang quite long enough with the Comets. I'm going to I might be jumping the moon a little bit here. I might even be wrong here, but I like the Comets in that game. 38-16 is my prediction for the Comets. Now, number 2 for me, Rosewood versus Aycock, the Little River Rivalry. All right, now this is a game that is pretty much always played first week of the season. Even during the COVID season, we still were able to get this matchup. Traditionally, though, Aycock has ran this rivalry. You got to look at it. They're 15-1 in the Max Preps era. The one win, the one win coming in 2021, while Aycock was rebuilding. Now, here's the issue though. Rosewood's lost a little bit. Aycock has probably lost even more. You know, I think this game could get very interesting as Aycock has lost quite a bit. Rosewood hasn't lost that much. I'm going to have to say go ahead and give me Aycock in this one 28-20 in a squeaker. I think this will be one of those classic ones where it comes down to who has the ball at the very end of the game. All right, now we go to number 3. Excuse me. South Johnston at Smithfield Selma. All right, now, this is traditionally a game that's played during the conference season. They've been in conference together for quite a while now. But now it's going to be the one that kicks off their season. But here's the thing. South Johnston's also kind of dominated this in-county rivalry. In the Max Preps era, they won the majority of them, including last year's 35-7 thumping of the Spartans. But the good thing for Smithfield Selma fans, if you're looking for a bright spot, is in the Max Preps era, their most wins that a team that Smithfield Selma has wins against is South Johnston, 8 wins. Of course, I believe they are 8-14 against them. They've got 8 wins against South Johnston, 8 wins against West Johnston in the Max Prep era. It's going to be a tough one. The Spartans, I think, are improved because they were young last year. South Johnston lost a little bit. I don't think it'd be 35-7. Give me 27-14 South Johnston. Moving on to number 4 here. Cleveland at Pinecrest. Now, this is a matchup. You have two teams. Both of them won 10 games last season in the 4A classification. But Pinecrest lost a great amount. Cleveland lost a great amount. I'm not one who thinks that this game is going to be, super close. Because when you look at Pinecrest, it seems like they have lost just a bit more. And even I go back and look at records wise, Pinecrest has always been a very good program. I think Cleveland's been a little bit better in the past decade or so. I gotta say, give me Cleveland. I don't think it's gonna be quite as close as most people think. I believe even my guys over at WJG Sports I believe one of them had Cleveland losing. I think Cleveland wins this. Give me 42-30. Cleveland's traditionally a 37-point a game type of team. Until I see them sputter or fall, I think I'm gonna ride with the Rams until I'm proven wrong. So I'm going to go with the Rams 42-30 over Pinecrest. Another one where it's like, hey, I could very much be wrong. It could very much be jumping the moon here. Heck, I could be underselling Cleveland. They might go even higher, or Pinecrest might win. Who knows? We'll see. Number 5, Goldsboro at Eastern Wayne. The Wayne County Classic returns to Goldsboro High this year. But it has not been anything. It's been pretty much anything but classic the last 4 years. Goldsboro has not fared well against Eastern Wayne. Eastern Wayne has had the upper hand, and they've had the upper hand for the majority of the time. I believe they're 15-6 in the Max Preps era. 14-6 in the Max Preps era. Goldsboro hasn't won since 2019's The Miracle on New Hope, where they got a nice 45-yard Hail Mary. In my opinion, I think this is going to be one of the better Goldsboro teams, but I don't know how well they'll fare. Give me the Warriors 37-14. I'm going to give Goldsboro 2 touchdowns there. I got to see what Goldsboro looks like before I go any deeper than that. Could also be very wrong on this one. And let's see, I have 2 seconds, and we are out of time. Well, that's my time for the show. Now, of course, you're saying, Kai, wait a second. How could you not give us all of the predictions on the show? Well, I've got you covered. It's in my column. Go to my column on WeJournalGreatSports.com. Click on the link. You'll see the podcast video there. You'll see the column. I got all my predictions. We got 9 other games there that I predicted. We're going to keep up with it. So far, we've picked 14 games. Let's see how we do for next week. I might be coming in here 7-7. I might be coming in 14-0. I think I'm coming in 14-0, but I might be 0-14 too. We shall see. So make sure you read the column. Has all my thoughts fleshed out. It's important that I've differentiated my coverage for you guys, for my readers who enjoy reading, for my people who enjoy listening to the sound of my voice. I appreciate you for watching this Kai's 5 podcast. Now, of course, I know I'm at the game of the week this week, and I know you're saying, well, why didn't you go to this game? Why didn't you go to that game? Well, hey, guys, here's the thing. You go to WJG Sports at FB. You click on that link there. You'll see a form where you can nominate yourself for top 5 plays, and as well as top 5 performances. Or if you just want me to post your highlights and tell the people what you did, we also got a submission for that as well. So just because I'm not there doesn't mean I can't still provide some good coverage. Go on those huddle, go on the quick clips, cut them up, send them on down. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing my best to make sure everyone gets a little bit of coverage. And for my non-football fall sports people, I also have WJG Sports prospects as well. You got your volleyball highlights, you want to send them in, send them on in. I'm going to go ahead and post your highlights too. You got your cheerleading highlights, I'll post those too. You got your soccer, boys soccer, I'll post those. Hey, you got some GoPro video of you running and winning some cross country? Heck, I'll do that too. WJG Sports prospects, and you'll be able to send in your highlights as well so you can get a post too. I know I don't get a chance to cover you guys, so this is my opportunity to say, hey, if you want some coverage, send me some footage, and I'll make sure I get you a nice post available for you. Now, thank you so much for watching again. This is College 5 Podcast, episode number 2. I appreciate you guys again. Thank you for watching. Stay locked in with WJG Sports. Peace. I'm out.